Hi, I'm Keith and welcome to week 22 of my weekly fitness vlog, Up the Peak. Disaster has struck. Something I've been dreading could be approaching. I had my weigh-in this week, and the results weren't as good as they have been since I started 5 months ago. This week, I was down less than 5 pounds from the last weigh-in. But I ain't worried, and I'm still grateful because I'm still losing weight, even if it's slower. Every single pound makes a difference. This week, I weighed in at 279.8. I made it to the 270s, though just barely, I still did, which brings the total weight loss from January 28th to 127.7 pounds. I'm very grateful. I'm very thankful. I'm very excited. You know, I understand why the weight loss wasn't as good this time. It's not that the plateau is hitting, per se. It's because of some of the choices I made through the last couple of weeks. Now, while I have been pushing harder with the exercise, I did get a little lax this week, and I did eat a little bit more. In fact, and now this was after the weigh-in, after I weighed in, I decided, you know what? I'm not going to get discouraged and distressed about this. In fact, I'm going to reward myself for getting down as low as I have. I had a delicious cheat meal with two very special friends of mine. It was a spontaneous thing. It was actually on day 7 of week 22. It was towards the end of the day. I said, you know what? Let's barbecue. So we made up some steaks. We made up some asparagus. We made up some salad, some corn on the cob. We even had some steak fries to go with that steak. I totally overindulged and had a fantastic meal because I owed that to myself. And on day 1 of week 23, it is back to business as usual. Some of the other missteps I may have had this last week, which I don't even think they're missteps, honestly, because you know what? I had some of these things and I still lost almost 5 pounds. That's still almost 2.5 pounds per week. And if that was to be my going weight loss rate for the rest of this fitness journey, I would still be thrilled about that. Because I have completely transformed from where I was at 464 in 2014 and where I was in January at the 407.5 down to 279.8. And that is extraordinary. Now, the weight loss, yes, the weight loss does feel good. But you know what feels better than that? The fact that I don't get wiped out and exhausted when I do stuff. This week, I started working on my car. Now, I've been talking about it for a couple weeks now, and I finally got down to it. I changed out the brake pads, rotors, and even the back calipers. Here is some delightful footage from the day I spent out in the sun working on the car. You know, I started off with the front passenger wheel. I got that off, and while I had all that off, I decided to do a quick oil change. Popped that filter off, drained out the oil, and while that was draining, I finished up the brake assembly on that side. And then I put the new filter in, topped off the oil, and then I moved to the next wheel. I got that knocked out, then moved to the next one. Now the back ones were more than just brake pads and rotors. Those needed brake calipers. And this was my first time doing it on my own. Now earlier in the week I did help. I say help. I attempted to help a friend with their brake calipers, but unfortunately their brakes were a little bit rusty and we had to call in the big guns. So my friend John had to come in with his garage with magical tools. So John took the big workload on that, and I more or less just stood there passing him tools, but still watching and learning. You know, 4 years ago, I couldn't even change a bulb in a headlight, and I would get scammed by mechanics. I got scammed one time for a brake job. It cost me $1,400 for my brakes, and I was so naive about it, I didn't understand what they were billing me for. I thought I was getting new calipers on all 4 wheels along with the rotors and the brake pads. That was not the case at all. So these guys made a nice mint off me, but it was the last time they would ever do that to me. Now that I can do a lot of this stuff on my own, I do it. There are some things I cannot do. I had to get new tires on the Maxima this week. Tires are out of my skill range. I don't have the appropriate equipment for it, and I'm happy to pay it. I got a great deal on my tires. So the Maxima's got working brakes, and it's got 4 brand new tires. I did some work with the engine. I'm going to hold off on the spark plugs just yet. I think she's still good with the spark plugs. I might double check them before I hit the road soon. but the car is going great. I spent the whole day out there working on this car. Now, to a skilled mechanic, it probably doesn't take him that long, but to someone like me, you know, I'm a little bit slower, methodical with stuff. But back in the fall, I changed out some brakes on my mother's vehicle, and it was a physically painful, draining event, because at this time, I was somewhere around, you know, I would probably say, because I gained a lot of the weight. I gained 115 pounds throughout 2017. So probably around this stage, I was probably somewhere between like the 370, 380. So being 100 pounds lighter than my last brake job was a pretty significant difference. I decided something this last weigh-in. Now, I had said if I get under a target weight of under 250 pounds by the beginning of August or end of July, I'm going to go for Longspeak. Well, going based off of MyFitnessPal, if I continue to eat the calories I do, and I continue the workout that I do, within 5 weeks' time, I will be under the 250 pounds. So I have decided to take the scale out of the equation. I'm going off the scale. Off the rails, off the scale. What I've decided to do, even if the plateau is hitting now, that doesn't matter. I'm going to continue training myself, getting stronger and faster. And I am going to go under the belief that I will be under 250 pounds by the very beginning of August. In fact, I have set the date for Longspeak. Now, there are going to be a lot of factors involving that. Weather could change it, you know, but I'm going to at least attempt it. I did not think I would be attempting Longspeak this year, let alone this summer. So because I've come this far, I'm going to see it through the best I can, even if all I do is get to that park. And even if I only make it however many miles up that trail, it doesn't matter, because I made it back there, something I never thought was going to be possible. Well, I'm going to give it my best shot, but I will say this. If I feel that my life is in any kind of jeopardy, whether it's physical, whether it's mental, I got to pull the plug on it. I cannot go to the top and risk my life, because that makes this whole thing pointless. This whole fitness journey is about taking control of my life back. I'm going to give it the best shot that I can, because as I said in day zero, not reaching the top always kind of bugged me. That's always kind of bugged me a little bit. But at the same time, to go from where I was to where I am now, and even getting back there, is still in itself something extraordinary. There are some other things coming up I'm not going to talk about just yet. I'm saving that for next week. But as far as things are now, I couldn't be happier. I really couldn't. You know, I feel like I've woken up from a decade-long coma. Now, yes, there were times in the past where I did get the weight down. I was 292 at the end of 2016, and I thought I was on the path I am now. But then that monster of depression creeped back in, and that monster came back this week. I started feeling some of that coming back. But I've been able to fight it back. I've been able to refocus and remotivate, and that's what's important. Life is going to knock you down sometimes. It's going to kick your ass. You're not even going to know why you feel the way you feel sometimes. You're just going to feel that way. What's important is to keep yourself grounded and keep your eyes on a goal. It's not always going to be easy, and there's going to be plenty of challenges coming up. What's important is you don't forget that, you don't get discouraged. Not too long ago, I remember reflecting on having my 2 subscribers. I'd like to give a shout out to my 2 subscribers. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. So that's 146 more on top of that too. 2 more, we're at 150. So I want to thank everyone that's popped in, watched the videos, liked, subscribed, or even commented. I've got some great people that always leave comments. I always look forward to them. I've got some new people that pop in periodically. This has been quite a journey I've been on since the end of January. I feel like we're coming up on a huge milestone at the beginning of August. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to make it to the top of Longspeak or not, but I sure as hell am going to try. And with a friend flying in from Pittsburgh to join me, I don't have to do it alone. I think that was one of my biggest fears, was doing it alone. So thanks to my friend who's flying in, I'm not. And this guy, you know, he already bought the plane ticket. So regardless of what happens between now and then, I have to be in Colorado on August 6th to get this guy from the airport. And then we'll just take it from there. That's going to wrap things up for this week. I want to thank you all for watching. I'll be back here next week with a very big update. Until then, have a fantastic week.